Okay.
Yo, what up, Nick Nation? It's your boy Ryan, from Top 10 Knicks. Here to discuss the meltdown that happened in Boston and what's next for the Knicks. It's a family affair here. I got my brother-in-law, Mandel. What up, Mandel? How you doing?
What's going on, people?
Knicks lose in Boston, 132-109 in a three-point barrage. Celtics make 29 threes, which is a record-tying, NBA record-tying set. Knicks had no answer and were outclassed last night. What do you think happened to the Knicks last night, Mandel?
It's just Boston just was on fire and they stayed on fire. That's all it is to it. I mean, the Knicks were shooting well for most of the first half, but they gave up a lot of perimeter shots. The perimeter defense was suspect, But again, this is the first game. They got new players, that need to gel, figure out Tibbs' system. But once they figure it out, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that assessment. I think the thing that when Boston started going off in the three-point barrage, and what I thought about was with Tibbs, he loves that drop coverage, and he never really ever adjusts out of that drop coverage. And with Boston, I hope if they have a matchup in the playoffs, that Tibbs has something else in his toolbox against Boston because drop coverage when basically he sells out to protect the paint first, and
Right.
then he wants guys flying out to the 3-point line. And obviously, pretty much a newly assembled team. Defense is not on a string right now. It's going to take a lot of cohesion and a lot of time to build that trust offensively and to be able to, you know, operate on a string like that. And Boston is just a horrible matchup for them for that first game with how well oiled they are, well oiled machine, being able to play five out. And not only they play five out, they got five guys that can make decisions on the court and hunt threes. They're not only just they that just take threes, they hunt them.
Right. And
And
they didn't
go
even
ahead.
have Porzingis either.
Nah, they didn't. And but Al Horford, I mean, what was he? I think he was 3 for 5 from three himself.
Right.
So like even without Porzingis, he's still nailing them. And with Cat, like I didn't think Cat was bad, but
Yeah.
Cat's normally like when Tibbs had him in Minnesota and he had him playing drop. That's not the best way he plays defensively. But what he played the last couple of years defensively in Minnesota was he
Switch.
presses kind of he switches and he presses. So he
Yeah.
presses up. He presses up on the guard level, and then he actually like switches back. And he actually is pretty quick on his feet, and he's been successful at that. But Tibbs has him playing drop again, which is it's not his best. He's not best suited for that. We'll see how it goes. Mikal Bridges was pretty horrible
Yeah.
at the point of attack. He got toasted defensively. Like Tatum got him a couple like he went one way, Tatum went the other way,
The
and
other way.
just wide open. And that I'm hoping that's just a bad game for him. I mean, he's supposed to be a all defensive player. He has to be much better.
I think it was the after Tatum kept connecting on the three, he started to worry, started getting his head, so he was kind of pressing up on Tatum, you know, and Tatum was just blowing right by him because he kind of gave himself no room to slide his feet, and Tatum just took what he saw, but he was hitting the three so well. Like, what can you do about that? And I think that because Michael's new to the system, I think that it just got in his head. I mean,
Yeah,
he could barely even handle the ball. He was falling. Uh, he was sliding around. It seemed like a lot out there. Um, just like you said with Cat too, I think offensively, I think he did pretty well, especially in those first few minutes. Let's say the first 8 minutes. But defensively, it's going to be a learning curve. It really is, especially if he's going to gel with these guys. I mean, you know, the other three have been doing it for a while, if you really think about it.
yeah,
But
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, I mean, that was kind of my assessment. Like, I think also defensively for Mikel, like his shooting, especially in that first half. I mean, I was getting a little nervous there, man. I
yeah.
was
Did he
between
change
going
his
0 for 10.
did he change his shooting motion? I mean, I really didn't,
He said he
really
did. So
analyze it recently.
after the Wizards game, when he went 0 for 10 from three, they interviewed him and he said he's been working on it. He actually changed the shot. He's trying to take the hitch out of the shot. And I'm
Oh,
just like, dude, like you came here, you were 30%, 38% 3-point shooter. You've been a great shooter all your career. You're coming to a new situation, to the Mecca. Like you're not no longer in Brooklyn, no longer in Phoenix. You're coming to a championship contending team, and now is the time you decide to try to change your shot. Like,
right. Don't reinvent the wheel, man. I mean, Tatum has a hitch in his shot. You think he's going to change his shot? No,
right. I mean,
and
Ben McCall, the worst they said is the worst hitch he had in the shot was the last year in Phoenix. He shot 42% from three. Leave it alone,
leave it alone. I know there's
man.
nothing to touch there.
Right.
Just if you want to get the shot off quicker, then the suggestion is not to change your shot, is to, I don't know, get to your spot quicker. I don't.
Get your spot quicker. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Get your spot quicker. And then with the spacing that the Knicks have, who's coming at you like that? Like you got Brunson driving to the paint, you got Cat stretching out the defense, you got
Right.
OG stretching out the defense. You're going to get wide open shots. Like there's no reason to. I mean, Campaign, look at how he shoots. He has the ugliest shot in the world. He
Right.
ain't trying to change his shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's not going to change it. I mean, because he shoots low too. That's the thing. Campaign shot is ugly. It is an ugly shot, but it
Yeah.
goes in.
Right.
And from the level he shoots, I mean, I'm really surprised he doesn't get blocked more. Because
Right.
he shoots it from such a low level. But he's not going to change his shot like this far into the game. It just doesn't
Right.
make any sense.
Yeah.
So I hopefully he just tries to go back to his old shot or just let it come naturally.
Right.
But
The thing
trying to,
the thing that scared me was like because like he said he changed the shot and then you know what happens like things get in your head, right? Like you didn't shoot well against the Wizards, you had a bad shooting in the preseason, and you go 0 for 5 or whatever, 0 for 6 in the first half. I'm
right.
just like, man, like that also they're gonna be asking, and then he's turning over the ball, like you said, he was falling, sliding, and then getting toasted in defense. I'm just like, man, they're gonna ask him questions about this after the game's gonna get in his head. You know what I'm saying? How long is this gonna last? Because they need him. He's
He's in
important.
a rut right now. I mean, they're not going to really. All they're going to get from Josh is, if Josh stays in the starting lineup, is hustle. And
Right.
then an occasional three that goes in. Josh is
Right.
not a frequent money shooter like that.
Not a
So
willing one either.
right, and that's another thing I wanted to say is I don't see him being aggressive to the basket, even in preseason like he used to last year. Sometimes he would go coast to coast, and it just seems that he's hesitant to drive aggressively like he did last year.
I think
Yeah, I
he's
don't know if
probably
that
one
lineup's going to stay that way.
he's probably one of the number one guys that's trying to get used to the offense with the new system, with the new players, because
Right.
he's the garbage man in this lineup right now. Like he's the last one getting shots. So actually, I thought he played well last night. He was actually going to be one of the guys I put like as far as actually I thought played pretty well because they used him as a screener a lot, and in
Yeah.
that action, um, he actually was able to make some nice cuts to the paint, and he found cutters to the rim. Like he actually found Sims a couple times for dunks. He found Cat a couple times, and then he scored on a couple of those himself. So like he found a way. I think Tibbs did a good job of keeping him active, where you can't just like not account for him because either he's constantly moving and he's cutting, and that's what he needs to do. Like he's not someone that's going to demand attention from the 3-point land. They're
Right.
going to try to help off of him, but he's gonna have to make them pay by helping off of him by setting screens, cutting, finding cutters. Being able to be that guy that creates action and creates
Right.
passes and
I call him chaos. He comes in as
exactly
energy.
right,
And when you cause chaos, the other team gets a little flustered, and you get some easy buckets out of it.
exactly.
But I just want him to be a more willing scorer when he has a chance. I know he was left wide open a few times and he hit the shots, but I don't mind it. He'll
Yeah,
get
no, he needs to be
comfortable.
a willing shooter
Right.
because he needs to, even if he misses, he needs to not make it such an easy decision for the defense to be like, oh, I'm gonna help off of him, especially when he's behind the 3-point arc. He needs to
Right.
be a willing shooter, and he can hit those shots. He just in the against Philly, he was no hesitation when he was open, and I think that was something they kept telling him. They're like, shoot it, especially as depleted as the Knicks were, they needed his offense. They're like,
Right.
man, you got to shoot it when you're open, and he did. And he was hitting them. Just needs confidence to just take him.
Yeah, I mean, I think once he starts he hits that first or second one, in a row in one of these next few games, he'll be all right. Because I was thinking, like, if they wanted to, like, I like Josh as a six man. I don't know about you, but I like him when he comes off the bench. He gives that
Me too.
second unit energy. So I'm thinking, like, the way Deuce was shooting last night, if he keeps that up, the defense really doesn't drop off that much either. I mean, the height does, but the defense doesn't drop off that much either. If he keeps shooting like he did last night, I would put him in the starting lineup. I would.
I'm very much tempted, very, very much tempted. The only hesitation I have of putting Deuce in the starting lineup right now is they got no scoring off that bench right now.
Yeah.
Like, besides Deuce, I mean, Campaign would be your best scorer, and he's not a scorer like that. And then you talk about, like, Precious is hurt. Josh Hart's not a scorer.
He's
You
not a
got
scorer.
Sims, and then you're relying on the rookies. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's kind of slim pickings. They're gonna need Deuce's offense off you need somebody to be able to score off that bench. Until they get healthier up with the bench, I think they're gonna have to keep Deuce on the bench for now until they can get some more bodies off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Kolek is more of a point guard. I mean, he can score when he needs to, but he's a point guard. So you can't really add him to that mix. He's still learning too. So,
Yeah.
They really don't have a scorer on that second unit. Not a real consistent scorer.
Right.
I hope that's not an issue. It was Devo for a while last year before he started, right?
Yeah. And Deuce was you had Deuce.
Deuce too,
So,
yeah. So you had two scorers on the bench, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know who they're going to get that production from. From the second and third unit. I like what I saw when they came in. I mean, it was already a blowout, but like Huck 40, I like that kid.
Oh my God, I was going to bring him up too. I'm ready to move on from Sims.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on from Sims and let's play Huck 40. The backup center minutes. He just like I was telling you the other night. He's fluid. His game, he has like a grown man game for a rookie.
He does.
He knows where to be.
He
got a little tenacity to him. Yeah, he's more of a traditional big man. Where Sims, like, I feel like, even though he actually he didn't have a bad line last night. He had 9 rebounds.
Right.
What do you have? 4 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. I mean, that's not terrible in 24 minutes. But like, it almost feels like when he does stuff, it's like luck. It doesn't feel like it's based on any skill or attention to detail, being, reading things properly.
I think he's I don't know if you know what I mean by this. I think he's a sleepy player. He's sleepy. Like, he's, I want to see more energy out of him, some more like fight. It just
Right.
seems that he does his job. But I want to see him get angry, like be an angry player. If he was an angry player, I think he would play a lot better.
With his athleticism and the way he's so bouncy. I mean,
Yeah,
he should be so much like he should be a force.
right,
Like, I mean, he should be like a oop magnet. Like as far as like when you throw the ball up the rim, he should be just like dunking on people,
right.
and
Trying
he
to
should
crush
be
hands back there.
ferocious on the offense and defensive boards. Like he just his time. The thing where I don't like about him the most is his timing defensively. Like,
Yeah,
and then also as he's another victim of Tibbs drop coverage. So, I talk about Tibbs drop coverage, and he loved that because he had Mitch and he had Hartenstein who are great in that drop coverage for Tibbs' system. But Sims doesn't have the anticipation. Um, he's always late, even though he has the athleticism when he tries to block shots. He's
yeah.
always late, and he doesn't have good reads defensively. He's always like timing's always off and always slow.
A
Like he doesn't have a
step
good feel
behind.
for the game. Yeah, doesn't have a good feel for the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just think it's because that's what I mean by sleepy. I think he's just sometimes I don't think he's all there. Like I
Right,
think
right,
like his mind is
right,
on something else. Like it's okay. Like he has all that athletic ability, and
right.
I think it's going to waste.
It is. It is. It's a waste.
It's a
I mean,
waste.
yeah. So I mean, he's gonna play until Precious comes back. Like,
Right.
and Sims. I mean, Tibbs. I mean, I know he played at 40
Tibbs
last night,
likes
played in the
him.
garbage time, but I think so. But like, it's gonna take a minute before Tibbs bumps him up over Sims. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're gonna see Sims for the time being. For now, we're just gonna have to hope for the best.
How about
Yeah.
yeah, I was looking forward to seeing Dottie to see what he can do. But it's garbage time again. He's a rookie, so you're not going to
Actually,
really.
he got first half minutes. He was the only rookie that got real minutes in the first half. I think that's
Yeah,
because
but I think who got in foul trouble? Did anyone get in foul trouble or no? Actually,
nah.
Tibbs was kind of like nothing's working
I think
right
he was
now,
like
and he
nothing's working, and then
yeah
Dadier's a wing, so I think he looked at Dadier like um, he needed to, and that's the other. Remember, I was telling you the other day about starting Josh Hart, like you kind of short on wings off the bench because
right
Deuce comes in. Deuce is a guard. He's not really subbing in for OG or Mikel or those guys. So now, if you're starting Josh Hart, now you have to play Dadier because you need someone to sub.
to
You
sub
don't
in.
have a Chua. Yeah, you don't have a Chua.
Sure, yeah,
So
and he's probably going to be gone for the next 4 weeks or so,
right,
hopefully.
right, right.
Um,
Hopefully, he comes back sooner. But yeah, so I think Dadier is going to see time. I think Dadier going to see regular minutes off
I
the
hope
bench.
so. I mean, I hope he does well too. I told you over the summer league I was calling him French Kevin Knox because I didn't see it.
Right.
But these preseason games, especially that third one when he let all the rooks play, I
Yeah.
like what I saw. I like what I saw. I think he's got a chance. If once he picks up the system, and he knows it front and back, I think he has a chance.
For Tibbs to play him, I'll say this. I mean, we don't see practice. For Tibbs to call, because he could have played Kolick. He could have went small and went, three guards and played Cam, Deuce, and Kolick, But he said, I'm going to play Dadier. For him to do that, he must be seeing stuff in practice that is impressive. And it's hard to impress, as a rookie, it's hard to impress Tibbs.
Because
So
Tibbs,
that means something.
he'll run 8 men into the ground before he plays a rookie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
So
playing Sims like you know what I'm saying. So we're calling for Haporti and he's playing Sims, and so but he
right.
played Dadier, so it means something. He's doing something right. So that's I think that's a good sign. So what? Getting back to who we talked a little bit about Macau. Who else did you think needed to do more last night?
Um, honestly, I just couldn't get a great assessment because we were getting blown out so badly. The game was a little closer, neck and neck kind of thing. You can actually see, if they lost, you can actually say, well, this is what we need. But last night was, to me, was an outlier, I think.
It
I
was an
hope,
outlier.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I
you're
hope,
playing Boston,
right. They're fresh off a championship. They got their rings, they
right?
were all amped.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to see. Like, I want to see them all do well. You know that.
Yeah.
Um, but in general, like I said, like my concern was Josh. I didn't see him be his aggressive self. Um, Brunson was doing what he needed to do, but it just seemed that the lane was a lot more plugged up this time around for him. Um, and then you have Cat. I'd rather him not come down and pull a three. I'd rather him be spot up or be set up. I don't like when he comes down and there's 2 men under the bucket and he's shooting that three. I don't like it. I never liked any player doing that except, well, the only one I can see getting away with that if he was on our team that I wouldn't get mad at is Steph. It's just like a layup for him.
Right.
But Cat, I mean, if he starts to get more comfortable and we can see how we can get back on defense when on offense down under the basket. And he wants to shoot that, so be it. Another thing, the offensive rebound wasn't, our offensive rebounding last night without iHeart.
Yeah, they got destroyed. Yeah,
You really notice that without iHeart.
Yeah,
that was something he was good at last year. Precious, too.
Precious.
And
They miss
even
Precious. Mitch,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, Mitch that's his bread and butter.
Right.
That's what that's the best. That's an elite skill for Mitch.
Right. It's one of the best parts of his game. So yeah. So that, because Cat is a stretch,
Right.
so he's not necessarily going to be under there fighting for offensive rebounds. So
that's something going to be to watch all year. That's something. That's a good point.
That's what kept us in almost every game last year was offensive rebound. Almost every game, even when we weren't shooting well.
That's what propped up the offense.
Right.
With the possession battle, you get in second and third and fourth possessions. That's been the Knicks' bread and butter for the last couple of years. The thing is, the team has changed now, so you're hoping now you're a much better shooting team, so you don't need as many offensive rebounds,
right?
As you did because you were a poor shooting team the last couple of years. So you needed the only way you're going to prop up the offense was by dominating the boards, which is what they did. And It's kind of like a poor man's way of excelling offensively, and that's not a way to win a championship. You might win a round or two, and you saw it in the playoffs the last couple of years. Like, they bludgeoned Cleveland by doing that. They destroyed Evan Mobley and but the other dude. But when they went up against got his name, the other center on Cleveland. But when they went up against Miami, with Spoelstra, when you go up against the better coaches in the league and you start going to second and third rounds in the playoffs, they're going to be able to scheme against that. They're going to be able to find ways to box you out. Even if it's team boxing out, they're going to take that weapon away. You're going to have to beat them another way.
And
that's why I say it's not a way to win a championship.
Bam and Jimmy are good at crashing. So
right. And then against the Pacers, like last year, they bludgeoned Philadelphia the same way, even with Embiid. They bludgeoned Philly with the offensive rebounding, and they bludgeoned the Pacers too, up until game 5 when they blew them out. They bludgeoned them offensive rebounding. Then game 6, we ran out of bodies too, but game 6 and game 7, the Pacers sold out on the rebounding. They actually stopped running the break, leaking out. They made sure they got that defensive rebound and gang rebound to make sure the Knicks didn't get it. and that was part of the reason why they took the Knicks out. So like that's what I'm saying. Like it's something to watch because rebounding is important. And like you said, with
Yeah.
Cat shooting threes and OG's your power forward now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like you don't and Josh Hart, I mean, he's supposed to help there, but you know, he's still undersized at the end of the day.
He's
He's still 6'5".
undersized. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I respect him. You know, he can play pretty much all five, you know, at one level or another. But yeah, he's just too small. Like I said,
to rely on consistently like that.
Right. Like I said, when you have Precious and iHeart last year, even when Mitch went down, it made the difference. It really did.
Right.
But now, like I said, Sims is not going to go like. And the thing is, like if he just crashed the boards every time, I think he'd pull it down. I mean, I think he can jump that high. I think he's that athletic that if he really crashed, he would scoop some offensive rebounds all night long, like steady. Like he had 9 rebounds last night, you said?
He did. Let me see how many offensive he had. Because I don't think of him as a good offensive rebounder. He's mostly a deep. He had 3 offensive rebounds. He had 6 defensive. Yes. So,
okay.
Yeah. Because he doesn't. Part of offensive rebounding is being able to read the ball off the rim and position yourself properly.
Positioning, spacing. I mean, Rodman did it. Rodman did it. He was the best at it. You know, just kind of know where the ball's going to fall. Yeah, and if he can't even do that with his feet and his defense, there's no way he's going to guess where the ball is.
Not
going to happen.
Right. That's a skill, man. That's a skill.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has no anticipation, it's a shame. It really is.
Yeah.
But like I said, Huck Porty, I wish they can like move him along because I think he's going to be pretty great.
I think I think they got 3 solid rookies, man.
Right.
For real.
Yeah. But they were just lacking who's going to come after Cat. Like really, like Mitch, they say Mitch won't be back this year. Well, he's going to be back in January. They're still trying to trade him. Yeah.
I think there's an assessment thing because, like, so when we're talking about the rebounding, I think there's going to be a couple of markers, right? When Precious comes back. Because, like, so they're going to have to live without Precious for 2 to 4 weeks.
Right.
I think Tibbs is going to make an assessment. If this rebounding thing is a real problem,
right, I
think you could see Precious in the starting lineup. I think, especially like we're talking about with Josh, we need, say Dadier's kind of struggling. We need more depth, at the wing position off the bench. You bring Josh off the bench, you start Precious, and then you help yourself with the rebounding in the starting lineup. That could be something that they do. Also, with Mitch, so like defensively and how things are going, they may decide, do we want to experiment with Mitch and maybe doing like what Minnesota did?
Gobert and like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's just gonna depend on how the season's going. I think if Towns is killing it at center at 5, because that's the thing. Towns put up his best numbers in his career as a 5. Like even when he was a 4 in Minnesota, it was effective, but it really kind of tanked his offensive game a little bit.
Right.
He's still good offensively, but he's not the same. Not like when he's a 5, he's that's when he's at his best. So if they're gonna make an assessment, I think Mitch gets healthy.
Yeah, like if I want him to like really improve his 15 to 18 foot game. I mean, 6 to 8 feet is great, and from 30 is great. But that mid range, like Lauri Markkanen, great. He's a great 15, 18 feet, on the blocks kind of thing. But it just seems like when he gets when he gets down low, he kicks it out all the time. He doesn't go aggressively to the basket like he should.
He did.
He had some of those hook shots. I saw that.
Yeah, he took advantage of, and actually Boston probably schemed that. What's his name? He had Drew Holiday on him, which is what he should do. If he has Drew Holiday on him, you're 7 feet tall. You got to take that and go. And he did, and he converted on those. But Boston also doesn't mind that because Cat only took 2 threes last night, which is, I know you that's not what the Knicks want. The Knicks want him shooting more threes.
Right, so, but they need to set him up. I don't think he should come down and launch.
No. He should be stretching the floor, not coming down and launching. I agree. That's not his bread and butter. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, for somehow they couldn't get him out there. They couldn't get that game going.
The offense was strange last night. Like they put up good numbers. And they shot 55%. Like they actually had a good offensive game, but
it looked dislocated.
Yeah, it looked disjointed, and it looked kind of like you could tell like these guys haven't played together much. Like you can tell like they were kind of just scoring because of the respect the Celtics were giving them, like spacing wise.
Right.
And they were stretching the floor out a little bit. Brunson actually did have some breathing room in the paint because of that, and he did get a couple layups, but then there was he didn't have a clean game. He had 4 turnovers, a couple of sloppy ones. It wasn't a quintessential Brunson game. It was, I mean, we have high standards for Brunson, so I would say it's kind of like a 5 out of 10 for Brunson as far as his game. Like he put up decent numbers, but
he usually doesn't turn the ball over that much.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't. Yeah, he's a very low turnover guy.
Right. So, Michael Bridges, that's the X factor right there. Like, hopefully this won't be the Michael Bridges we're getting. Hopefully we get like mid-season Brooklyn Nets, Michael Bridges.
Yeah, going back to him, he actually he was terrible the first half. But in the second half, that's what made me kind of feel better. He shot 6 for 7, and he was he hit his 2. He went 2 for 3 from 3-point range in the second half. So he looked a lot better. I mean, I breathed a big sigh of relief. Why? Because and it wasn't like layups. They were actually like he hit a couple threes. He hit some mid-rangers. Yeah. So. He looked like his shot looked smoother in the second half. So I'm just hoping that, in a blowout, like in other sports, either like in football or baseball, like you see someone like hit a big home run, like even though they're getting blown out, like he might be breaking out of a slump, and it carries over to the next game. Like I'm hoping that.
I hope that's the case. I really hope that's the case. But like again. I hope everything clicks because, that wasn't really his problem last night. It was like the defense, something that he's known for. It just didn't look like he was a defensive player last night.
No, yeah, he looked. I was actually even a little bit more alarmed about that.
Right.
Yeah. The other guy that didn't. He had someone said, and it's not far-fetched. It might have been his worst game as a Knick. OG was extremely quiet last night.
Yeah,
he had 4 points. He shot 1 for 7, 0 for 4 from 3. He was. Everyone was a big time minus, but he was okay defensively. He definitely wasn't Macau, but then he wasn't great either.
Right.
He just seemed like the team had low energy last night. It seemed like a little bit. They got deflated.
Right. It's trophy night. They're in Boston. It's not like they had to travel. I really don't know why they look so flat. Why is it 4-1? The 4-1 in preseason took it out. I don't know. But they didn't look the same. They didn't look like the same energetic team that I was used to seeing last year. And I know the new players and everything, but even like the second preseason game, they kind of looked like I was like, oh, this is what we're going to get. Oh, I'm good with it, but
right.
You know, again, like it just seemed that it was sluggish.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it seemed like they were a little bit in mud, and that's something
right.
to watch. Like something, something to just keep tabs on over the sea because the team last year had a grittiness to them. Like that's where the Devo loss and the Hartenstein loss. Not so much Randall because Randall, I wouldn't call. I mean, Randall plays
He
physical, but I
plays,
wouldn't say
he
he's a
plays
gritty,
bully,
gritty player. Yeah,
right? He plays bully ball, but like he's not, scrappy.
no,
You
he's not
know,
scrappy.
getting after the loose balls, like
Yeah,
always,
diving on
you
the
know.
floor, things like that. But there was a
Mhm.
grittiness to that team, especially after Randall got hurt, that even like it carried over to OG and Brunson. I mean,
Right.
Brunson's still gritty because Brunson takes charges and things like that. And doing Josh Hart, we still got him. He's gritty as hell. But like, I want to see. I'm a little something to watch. Are they going to be more of a finesse team? Like, how are they going to win? What's going to be the identity? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? They got Cat now. They got Mikal. Mikal, like, I'm a little something. I got to see where's the dog. Like, I want to,
The
I
dog.
got to see the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
I mean,
know OG got the dog. We've seen it. We know
right.
Hart got the dog. We've seen it. We know
Yeah.
Brunson got the dog. We've seen it. We lost Devo. We knew he was a dog.
Dog.
We lost Hartenstein. We knew he was a
He was a
dog.
dog. Yeah. Just gritty,
So
grimy players. Yeah,
yeah,
we need a grind. Yeah, we need that griminess. That's what they had last year. They weren't going to like sit and get pushed around,
right.
especially okay, for instance, I still can't believe he did that and got away with it. No fines, not even a suspension.
Embiid.
Yeah. Um, like after that, you see how many guys came up pretty much after that.
Yeah.
Also, run.
DiVincenzo, like,
Yeah,
you know he's gonna get housed, but yo, what's up? What's good? Like, yo,
yeah,
like you can't be doing, you know what I'm saying? Like he popped, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like
Like
I
can't touch
don't
my guy like that. Yeah,
yeah, like we lost a couple of those guys. So like, and this is New York. New York always got like I've never seen every time we've been great, like it's always been gritty, tough, grimy teams.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
I've never
And
seen a finesse New York team. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
like Cat is like I said, I like him offensively and everything, but I want to see him like turn into a dog, like a grimy dog. You
Right.
know, like I don't, take a cheap foul. I want people who say like, don't screw with me, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
he'll ever do that. OG might be, it might be that guy. But last night,
Yeah,
he was 1 for 7. I just think that kind of threw him off a bit too.
yeah, yeah,
Because normally those open threes he'll hit. And
yeah,
he,
yeah. Nah, he had an off night. I'm not like worried about him. I'm just
right,
just pointing it out. He normally like makes an impact in the game, like somehow, like even defensively. He was just there, like as a body. Like he didn't really seem like
exactly. He filled up space. That was it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, and I was hoping, Michael Bridges had some dog in him too, since he came from Josh Hart, Josh Hart does that grimy stuff,
yeah, yeah. We know, we
with the
know.
loose balls and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And I'm thinking everybody from that Nova team was kind of
squad.
like the
Because
same way.
Devo had it. Yeah,
He had it. Brunson has it, like, when he
right.
needs to. Um, so I'm thinking like, okay, so you bring another one of those guys in, they're gonna have the same mentality. But I didn't see it. And I'm
Haven't seen
hoping
it
it's
yet.
just the first game or just
Yeah,
the first few games. He might need somebody to really get in his
bring it
face,
out of him.
hard foul
Yeah,
him, yeah, hard foul him, and then or start talking some real junk to him.
right.
But yeah, I would like to see that because every team in the past that's done well in New York has always they always had a tone setter, and
Yeah,
that tone
yeah,
setter, whether it was Charles, you know, I even say Spreewell too. He was a dog himself,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But or Charlie Ward too. Like Charlie didn't take any mess either. Like
yeah,
those kind of dudes you need on your squad, especially a New York Knicks squad. You know,
yeah. Even that 13 team, I mean, there's guys in the play that much, but we had like Rashid and I mean, I mean, Melo, Melo is Melo. You know what I'm saying?
Melo.
Chandler, Tyson was,
Chandler.
Tyson was a dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need those guys. So
and that's where like the Mitch thing, like, I don't know now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying like Mitch is a dog, but like Mitch has a little, the way he plays, the physicality he plays with, you might need to keep that around.
Right? Why not? I kind of like having, like, he's not really a scorer. We're not asking him to score more or anything. We just ask him to be Mitch, healthy
Right.
Mitch, though.
Right.
And that's
the problem, right?
That's my problem. Yeah, that's the problem with Mitch. Is just can't stay healthy. I don't know if they need to extra bandage his knees, put him in a bubble wrap. I don't know how to keep that dude healthy. But when he is, he gets into foul trouble a lot, but he's playing aggressively.
I mean, look what he did. He was much better on Embiid than Hartenstein was in the playoffs.
Yes,
he locked Embiid down.
He did.
I mean, Hartenstein was getting torched by Embiid.
Yeah, Hartenstein, like I said, Hartenstein wasn't, if you think about it, Hartenstein's not really a lockdown guy. Like, he does the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like the offensive rebound thing, slapping balls out, diving on the floor, but one-on-one, that he's going to get torched. I've seen him get torched many times. But Mitch, that's a good point, man. He did lock the Embiid down. He really
That's
did.
why Embiid hurt him, because he was getting tired of Mitch.
Yeah. He was like, man, I'm not scoring. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to get this guy out of here. I just don't understand how they didn't suspend him, man. Oh.
Yeah, you're going to see him again.
I mean, he's still, like, that injury carried over into this year. They should go reevaluate. Like, okay, he hasn't played in 9 months.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be out a good day, like you said, 9 months because of that.
Right. Oh, man. But they're going to need somebody on the bench. Maybe Huck Porty, start to do better in
It's
practice.
tough to ask a kid to do that. Yeah.
Right. And
he got it in him. He's going to just need some, you know what I'm saying, first time around the league and first time in the NBA. I think he has it in him, but maybe not this year. Maybe he'll come out eventually. You know what I'm saying? Sims should be that, but Sims don't got his head on straight.
Right. And not only that, even if he's playing well, he gets around somebody like Draymond Green, he'll fold like a lawn chair.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's guys who won't fold like that. And I think he's one of those dudes. I think if Draymond got in his face, Huck Porty in his face, he's not backing down. I see that mentality in him. I just wish Tibbs would be like, okay, we're going to start something here. We're just going to keep playing you until you get it.
Right.
But he's third line.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
I think Cole's got a little dog in him too, though.
He does. He does. It's a different type of dog, but he does. Yeah.
Like Mitch McConnell.
I mean, same thing as Campaign. Campaign got some dog in him too. Campaign's like a pain in the ass. Because I remember, like, in the playoffs when we were playing the Sixers, I was getting tired of that Campaign, man.
Yeah.
Because he was getting in Brunson's face. Yeah,
he's like Sam Cassell. That's who you remind me.
Yeah, he's like Sam Cassell. Like, that's a good one. That's a good analogy. So let's talk about someone that I was really, this guy, man, he's turned into close to my favorite player in the team right now is Deuce. Deuce looks, this guy, just talk about, like, after they made the trade to get OG and they got, they traded quickly and RJ, and you're like, who's gonna be off the bench? Like, who's gonna score the points off the bench?
Even before that, who did they trade? Somebody I thought that he was drafted with Deuce. What's his name again?
Grimes?
Yeah, he's like an afterthought right now. I thought he was going to be that.
Oh my, yes, right. We thought Grimes is going to be the next. Like, we thought he was going to be a Klay Thompson.
Right.
We were like, Grimes is, he got the defense. Even remember, like, he had that moment in the Miami series where he hurt himself and then he stole the ball from Jimmy Butler. Yeah. And then, like, he played that whole. We were like, although Grimes this year, Grimes is going to come. He's going to be like because even Devo didn't start. Grimes was starting.
Grimes is starting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
and
and the thing is, like, he's another athletic dude too. Like, he's underrated. His athleticism is underrated too, but he wasn't using it. Like, he wasn't being aggressive when he needed.
he got in his head.
Like,
That
right.
he got the yips too, because like he wasn't hitting his shots, and they started leaving him open. I mean, and Grimes is supposed to be like, he's never really showed it in the league. He had a couple stretches, but he's supposed to be like a 40% 3-point shooter, but it just never really came out. And then it started affecting his defense. He wasn't becoming a lockdown defender anymore, and it was just like they were just leaving him open.
And he was missing.
Yeah. So, and then he axed out. Like he had that interview after one of the games. He was like, you know, I might as well come off the bench because no one's giving me the ball anyway. No one's passing me the ball. All this stuff. So like once that happened, he was done. Tibbs like, you want to come off the bench? You're gonna come off the bench.
Right. On someone else's squad. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think I'm still thinking about big loss. Shaman. Shaman was a big loss to me.
It was, and that's the depth again, or the wings, the wing depth.
Yeah, like he was one of those people. Like, he was the second scorer on that second squad.
That bench, yeah.
And
he's a guy that could get hot from 3 too. He was a guy that was gonna help, because now I feel like all the pressure's on Deuce now, right? Like I feel like I thought, although Deuce was great last night, like he has a lot of pressure because like he's the main scorer. He came from, like I said, like going back to his history, like he made that trade, and then like Deuce, what's Deuce showing? And then they actually signed him to a contract extension. It wasn't much money. It's actually one of the best contracts in the league right now. But then Deuce started coming out and like firing last year. I was just like, what? Like, where does
like he's not hesitating? Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. I was like, wow, he's just launching right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought Grimes is going to be. And so when they traded Grimes, I was like, what's going on here? They're not trying to develop him. I was like, I didn't see too much from the other guy, Deuce. His name Miles. That's what I was like, Deuce Miles. But he changed my whole.
Yeah, he's good, man.
Yeah,
he's good. He's
a thief too. Great hands.
Oh, no, he was the only thing I knew him as was a defender before last year, and then his shot just came out of nowhere. And they were like, oh no, he be hitting them in practice. They were like, that's why they had confidence. It was like, I know in the G League when he used to get sent down to G League, he was putting up 40-point games and 45 points and things like that. He was tearing it up, but he never showed it when he came back up until everything came together last year.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs, like he was.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he won a couple of games.
He won a couple of games because of what he did coming off the bench. Especially like he was like 4 for 6 one game off the 3-point line. No, didn't he hit like 7 or 8 one game?
He had that game 1 because Brunson actually had a pretty bad game. Game 1 against the Sixers. Remember, he had 2 bad games against the Sixers. The first 2 games weren't that good. Right. And Deuce saved his ass. Deuce had like 26 or 28 points in game 1. Like he was the leading scorer. And then Deuce actually in game 5, until that dumb foul by Mitch, that got the 3 free throws for what's his name, the guy with the dreads on Maxey on Philly.
Maxey. Yeah, that
dumb foul by Mitch. Deuce had the game-winning shot. Like that would have been the winning shot. He had a game-winning. I think it was a 3, and if they had the lead, and they were going to win the game. They were going to close Philly out in 5. He was okay against the Pacers. I think by then the team was running out of gas, and he was getting kind of cooked by T.J. McConnell. He was getting cooked by T.J. McConnell.
Yeah, Tibbs. Like Tibbs runs them hard all year long, and during that Pacers series, you saw they were just cooked.
Yeah, they were cooked.
They were cooked.
cooked.
I mean, there was nothing they can do about it.
Once OG got hurt,
Yeah,
you could see the deflation. Yeah, the deflation kind of like
right.
because OG was balling.
He was.
Yeah.
He was balling like especially on defensive end.
Yeah.
But again, offensive rebounding until they got a hold of it. I mean, that's what kept them through the first 4 games in every game.
Yeah, they were dominating.
Until
the Pacers are like, enough's enough. We have to.
Right, and that's coaching, too. But at the same time, like I said, because the Sixers series was kind of grueling after losing Mitch. So I was thinking, when they got to the Pacers, I was like, they got to end this quick. Or
yeah, I agree. I was like, they got to end this in 4 or 5.
Right.
And they were on pace because they were up 2-0, and then OG got hurt in game 2,
and that was it.
And then that was it. Yeah,
it's a shame. They probably would have got destroyed by the Celtics, but
they were destroyed by the Celtics.
Yeah. At the same time, if they stay healthy, like, okay, so they don't lose Mitch, they don't lose OG. I think they could have gave the Celtics around maybe 6 games, 5, 6 games.
I think so. Yeah. If everyone stayed healthy, they could have given the Celtics.
Right.
Yeah, they could have definitely because the Celtics had a couple of games against the Pacers in that conference finals where it was kind of shaky for them.
Yeah. But yeah, just the way they looked last night, I just hope this was like an outlier.
Yeah. So yeah, looking ahead. I mean, we're talking about the Pacers a lot. That's who we play next.
Right.
And the thing is, they're not going to get a break. Boston, obviously it's the best offense in the league. The Pacers are maybe second or third offensively in the league. So,
which I don't get. Halliburton he's a set shooter, man. Oh, I just can't get it.
He's a great passer. That's the thing too.
Yeah, he is actually a pretty good passer, but I just feel if you stay on him, he does run the floor pretty well to his spots, but if you just stay on him,
that's going to be Mikel's assignment on Friday night.
I hope so.
Yeah, that Mikel's going to be the point of attack guy this year. So he's going to have those big point guards. Halliburton's going to be his assignment. Definitely not going to be Brunson. Right. Halliburton's going to be his assignment. Brunson's going to have Nimhard or one of those guys. And then, OG's going to be on Siakam, and then
Nimhard, man, he had an outrageous series himself. Like, oh, come on.
They had a couple of guys that were. I mean, TJ McConnell killed us.
Yeah, time. McConnell murdered us.
Yeah,
he did. Man, it's always a dude. It's always like somebody off the bench or somebody you're not expecting. Never one of the main dudes is gonna really kill you. And except for the Cleveland series, each series had those guys like Maxey. Thank God, they weren't really healthy, but Maxey, oh man.
Maxey was a revelation, man. He was. I mean, we knew he was good. I mean, he had a great year last year, but him and Embiid. I mean, Embiid killed us too, but yeah, Maxey was a killer, man.
Yeah, Embiid wasn't even healthy either. That's another scary thought.
No, yeah.
But we'll see, man. Friday.
Home opener. So, and the thing is too,
Did Indiana pick anybody? Like, I'm not really. Did they pick anybody up of significance to add?
I think so.
They kind of have the same squad too, right?
Yeah, basically. I don't remember them making any major pickups. Look at their roster real quick.
I don't think so. I think they have. Yeah. They picked up, a couple utility guys. Didn't they lose Joe Ingles? Was he on Indiana last year?
Nah, I think he was on He was on Orlando.
Oh, Orlando.
Yeah, he was on Orlando last year. The East is
Look, the East
yeah, they
is
got the same squad. They got no one knew of note. I mean, Benedict Mathurin is back healthy now, so
yeah.
you got to deal with him. They re-signed Obi Toppin. They extended his contract. So and Obi
Oh
actually
yeah,
killed
he
us.
was another. Yeah, he killed us too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Obi killed
Couldn't do
us.
that with us.
Well,
I
Tibbs barely played him.
right. He kept pointing at the rim all the time. I think that's why. Kept asking for those
Well,
alley.
Randall was blocking him. Not to say that. I mean, Obi's good at what he does, but he's in the right place. He's
Right.
off the bench shooting threes for the Pacers.
He's on the right
that's the right
team.
profit. Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely.
It's pretty much the same squad. Miles Turner is a problem too.
Miles Turner. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the issue again. Again, because of Indiana, I think that's why you're going to need Mitch.
Well, the problem with Mitch is, and Mitch is a situational guy to me, like because against teams with stretch bigs, he can't get out and guard the three. He gets torched. He's good against the Embiids, like the guys that are paint down mostly.
Embiid killed us with that 3-point shot last year.
But he's not like a Porzingis or a Miles Turner or Cat. Like he'll take 3 to 4 threes, if that. He doesn't take like 8, 9 threes. Embiid makes his hay mid range. Embiid, he likes to get in the block, he likes to get in the paint, and he's a great shooter, like mid range
shooter. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's where Mitch excels at. Mitch can't get out. His body now with his injuries. He used to be able to, but Mitch can't get out to the 3-point line. It's not too many guys that can. But that's where they miss Precious, because Precious is a big guy. He's a little undersized, but he's quick enough to get out and guard guys. Because Precious actually did good against Embiid too.
Yeah, he did.
And I thought that Tibbs should have used Precious more in the Pacers series.
Right, against
Sans Hartenstein. Like I know Hartenstein,
Yeah, remember I said with him, like he does all the other stuff great, but like a one-on-one defender, he's not that great at. He's not. No. So I don't know who's gonna fill that role until Precious gets back. I have no clue because Sims is not doing it.
They're short there until the Precious is a big injury.
Yeah, I didn't realize
he fills in a lot of different. He was their depth at center, and he's their depth, the kind of like at the wing a little bit.
Right, like so he started a few playoff games last year with.
He did.
After
when OG got hurt. After OG got
hurt.
Yeah, that's when he started. Yeah.
Yeah, so we need him. We need him. I don't know who's going to fill that role.
They're gonna have to win in other ways. They're gonna have to not need as much rebounding by meaning to.
They gotta shoot well, yeah.
And they're gonna need to play better upfront defense. At a point of attack. So it doesn't necessarily get to the paint and get. They're gonna need to. Mikal is gonna have to start making his money early.
He is. Like I said, like big guards are why we got him, right?
Yeah.
Because Brunson was, I love Brunson. I think he plays pretty well, defensively, but he's 6'.
Yeah, he gets torched. He's 6', he's small.
Right.
He's not the most fleet of foot.
Right.
He gets where Brunson tries because he takes charges a lot, and that's how he's gritty in that way, but
right. Yeah. But like it's gonna get beat up. Like I said, he's got great footwork, but like on the defensive end,
Yeah,
You get a bigger guy in the paint with him. That's it. It's done. It's over.
this team was built defensively to help Brunson. Like they got these wing players, these great wing defenders to kind of protect Brunson, at the point
Right.
of attack. So they can switch. They can kind of switch Brunson to the weaker offensive player, and then always have either Mikel or OG on, the wings that are, the guys that are trying to, attack the paint.
Exactly.
It didn't work against Boston, but I think he's got to get the Knicks some time.
Yeah, but again, you were right. OG didn't play that well. Michael didn't play that well. Mikal Bridges.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that happening all year long.
No.
And not to mention, any team in the league would have lost to Boston last night.
Yes.
Probably not the same amount.
Yes.
They were up 30 at one point. Like, it's horrible.
If the Knicks didn't shoot 55%, and if Deuce wasn't going off in three, they'd probably been down 40 in the first half.
Exactly.
That's bad.
It was horrible.
It hit 29. They hit more threes. I think the Knicks took 30 threes. They hit 20. Boston hit 29 threes.
Right. That makes no sense. Not to mention, like, most of the threes, especially Tatum's threes, were contested, and he still hit.
Yeah. I think what happened was the defense was kind of soft early on them, like they were getting open. And once they got the feel, the defense actually got better, but they were still hitting the contested shots.
Right.
Yeah. They got hot.
It's not like they were wide open. Like, Jaylen Brown, he had a couple where it was step backs and he just let them fly and they were hitting.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can really do. And again, Al Horford, his were wide open. But you're not expecting him to hit those. Not all the time.
Not like that. Maybe like one or two. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I said, like last night, I think it was an outlier. I'm not really worried about it.
Nah.
I just didn't want to get embarrassed in the first game on national TV.
The only couple of things I don't like is, the Knicks are making these trades and stuff like, oh, we're a contender and all this other stuff. And then obviously, Boston's the champs. And Boston got up for the game thinking, oh, you guys crowning the Knicks are going to, overthrow us. And for them to take us out that badly, it gives them kind of like this mental edge that they even had last year, and they're going to kind of keep. Like the Knicks are going to have to work even harder to prove that they can play in the same playing field as Boston.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot.
It's going to take a lot. Like, like I said, we'll see Friday, home opener. They better just come with the game.
Yeah.
Can't have another showing again, they were shooting, what you said, 57% at one point.
55. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think they shot. Yeah, they were shooting 58% at one point. And
they still got trucked. They still got blown out. There's nothing.
They actually shot better than Boston, like overall. They shot 55.9. Boston shot 50%. Because remember, they were missing all those threes trying to break the record.
Yeah, for the whole game, yeah. They stayed at. They took like 10, 11 threes and still didn't hit them. I thought they were going to break the record. I guess it's just going to be stuck there for a while. Because Hauser, he must have taken like 7 threes and missed them all.
Yeah. They had good guys take. Pritchard and Hauser were taking them, which are guys that are really good shooters. They had some scrub guys taking them too, but
yeah.
But yeah, man, this was a really good segment.
No, that's another thing. They go deep on their bench too.
They do.
They got guys who shoot.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like last year, we were like, oh, Boston has this great starting five, but they don't have a bench. And then last year they proved, they got a bench.
They got a bench.
Yeah. They're by far. Well, yeah, I would say by far. Right now, at this point, it's early, but right now they're in a class by themselves. It's going to take. The Knicks are not in the same class as them yet. They need to prove a lot to get. The Knicks may be the second best team in the East, but they're definitely not in the same class as themselves.
Yeah, it's the Celtics and everybody else in the East right now.
Yeah.
The only teams that can really compete with them are the Nuggets and possibly Phoenix if they get that. When it comes to
Watch Oklahoma. I mean, I know Hardenstein's hurt.
okay.
Oklahoma
See,
City's, yeah.
oh, I forgot. That's right. That's right. I like them.
But
They're young too.
they're the only other team. I don't sleep. Denver's kind of they lost KCP. Denver's weakening. I mean, they still got Jokic, so they're always going to be good. But even
Right.
what's his name, the point guard
Jamal.
last year, yeah, Jamal Murray, he wasn't really that good last year.
Nah, he's a bubble guy. I call him the bubble guy.
Yeah. So I don't know about Denver. Phoenix is something to watch out for because they got a couple of guys. They draft Ryan Dunn was a guy actually that I actually wanted the Knicks to draft in the first round, and he went to because everyone was like, oh, he's a lockdown defender, but he can't shoot a lick. And then at least in the preseason, he was shooting over 40% from three.
Exactly.
So now they got a lockdown defender that's proven to be a decent shooter now. They could be a problem. I mean, they obviously are already good with Durant and Booker, but now if they got this other guy,
right? If they got a third guy, yeah, that's gonna be tough, man.
And
yeah, again,
don't
we'll
sleep
see.
on Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas, they were in the finals last year.
They were. Yeah, well, I think they fluked their way in. I'm just gonna say that. Maybe I'm wrong. I kind of feel Dallas fluked their way in.
Well, the thing is, when you have Luka on your team, I'm never gonna.
It was Kyrie and Luka, and then everyone else kind of stepped up.
They did.
But during the year, you remember they had I think at the half.
Yeah, they weren't that. They were horrible defensively.
Yeah.
They made that PJ Washington trade at the trade deadline. That's what really took them. PJ Washington played tremendous for them. Like when they made that trade for him. Yeah, I mean, he was playing. He was great defensively, and he was hitting threes. He gave them something that they didn't have, and they needed really badly, and they kind of carried that forward. But we'll see. Like I agree with you a little bit. They're a little fluky, but Luke is a wild card. Like those teams that have, you got Jokic and Luke. We have great players like that. You can make a finals any year, depending on, the cards fall right for you. So can't sleep. I know they got Klay Thompson now. We'll see what he does. They got Grimes too, actually.
They got Grimes. They got
Grimes in Dallas.
They got Klay Thompson light over there too. But yeah, man, this has been good, man. Thanks for inviting me on, man.
Of course, man. Not sure when the next. Let me see what the next schedule is looking like next time we chat. Because
so they play Friday. You don't do anything on the weekend. You don't do a weekend.
Nah, I'm not gonna do anything on the weekend. They play Cleveland. When is that? Monday, maybe Tuesday, because they play after Cleveland. They don't play until Wednesday. They play the Heat again, so we'll have a couple of games maybe to talk about.
Okay.
They got the Pacers on Friday, and they got Cleveland on Monday. So
all right, yeah, man, I'll definitely be back. From the 3rd to the 8th, I'll be gone all week.
Yeah, no problem.
But throughout the season, yeah, man, I'm glad I came on. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, this was good, man. Good chopping it up, talking Knicks. I'm excited for the season still.
Hopefully,
even
everyone
after
sees the stream.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. So this is Ryan Mandel signing off. Knicks Nation. See you later. Peace.
See you next time. Knicks Nation.
Yeah.